So we're just going to start by talking through the most simple basic step when we get a sewing machine. This is an industrial sewing machine, so it is not like your domestic sewing machines. This is a lot faster. You do have to get used to the way it sews, but all I want to do is go through how we just simply thread this machine up. We're going to start with this black thread here, and you can see I've started by threading it through the hole here, and it's just threading coming towards me. And this is just so it hangs nicely this way, because imagine if this thread was just pointing and coming straight from here, it's going to get very like tied up and taut when you're actually sewing. So this just loosely has it hanging up here, and then it can nicely start to go through the machine bits, and I'll show you this now. So here's my thread, and all I'm going to do is start with these two holes here, and the first one comes through, which comes towards me like that, and then the second one we're going away from me, and that is just going to be pulling round so we can go on to the next bit. If I can get the thread, here we go, like so. So it's just making an in and out loop there, and then we've got this here, which is a tension, one part of a tension. We've got two tensions going on here, so this is coming towards me again, but you need to make sure that when you do this next bit, we are pulling these two plates apart here. So what I'm going to do to start with is pull this thread through here, and I'm going to keep hold of it. And when I'm keeping hold of it, as you can see, I'm going to pull the plates apart and put it through to make sure it goes round and it's definitely catching there, because if you start to put it through this hole and it's not caught round there, then it's just going to be all over, and it's going to mess your stitching up when you start stitching the seams. So we're going in the next hole, and that is actually going away from me. I'm putting it towards the machine, and then it's coming out. And then we've got a little hook here. You need to make sure that thread just sits like that. And then this is our next tension, which is the main tension. So we've got our little wire hook here, and then we need to make sure again it's going to be going around these two plates here, similar to this, but it's not as loose as this, because this is the actual proper tension for your thread. So we're just going to bring it round and make sure it's quite tight there, and make sure it's going in. So this next bit is actually going to hook back on to this wire bit here. So I've just gone back and back round. So now can you see it's pulling this wire bit? So we're round the tension and then just springing back on the wire bit, and we're going to go down from this bit here, down, and then behind this here we've got a hole, and that if we're moving our foot, that's moving the foot up and down, not the foot, the needle, sorry. Let me get that right. So what we're going to do is we're going from this side to that side, and we're threading it through the hole. Very simple, through the hole. Just bring it, oh God, if my nails weren't this long, be able to catch the thread a bit more. So there we go, we've got that going through the hole, and the same with here, we need the thread to just go in that little loop there. Now we're getting down to the needle. So we have a black hook here, and we're just going to put that round the black hook. Okay, I'm going to pull the needle up. I want it as high as possible, because this foot guard is in the way when I'm going to thread the needle. But before I do the needle, I'm going to go in this hole here, which is just above the needle. It's quite fiddly, but you need to do that bit before you put it in the needle. So here we go, like so. And now I'm going to do the needle, and we are threading it from this side to this side. So I'm just going to go in. And there we go, we are through the needle. With this sewing machine, because it is an industrial sewing machine, you do not need to pick the spool thread up before you start stitching. The machine will automatically pick it up when we start stitching. But there we go, that is how we thread an industrial sewing machine.